$180.42 a month is what the VA pays for one obscure rating almost no veteran ever files, losing your sense of taste, tax-free, for the rest of your life. And stick with me, because one condition on today's list pays you nothing. No matter how bad it gets, knowing why it's excluded saves you a whole wasted claim.
Hey everyone, Leo here. The rating schedule's a phone book of conditions, and most of them never get claimed for one reason: no nexus letter. That's the doctor's note tying the condition to your service, and without it these ratings just die on the desk. So loss of taste is real money, 10%. That's $180.42 every month, and it never lands on a paycheck as taxable.
This is Kim, it's diagnostic code 6275. No wait, that's smell. Taste is 6276, both 10% if anyone wants to check. One catch though, the rating needs a documented physical cause, like nerve damage or a head injury. Food tasting bland on its own won't do it.
I'm Fenrir. Before we crown that a windfall, one honest flag, one condition on this list pays nothing, and I'd skip half the rest too.
That's the fight we're having today. And here's the part people miss. A small rating is a door, not just a check. It locks in a yes you can build on for years.
And every one of these was earned. Nobody carries a ruck for a career and comes home the same. The schedule just puts a code on what the road did to you.
And none of it is opinion. Every code and every dollar we say today comes straight off the official rating schedule, page by page.
This is the question sitting under every ratings video we make, so we put it to a real debate today. Is it even worth filing for a rating that only pays 10%? The answer surprised me. Everything we cover today is free at va.professorerica.com. The rate tables, the exact codes, a tool to check where you stand. Now let's start with your feet.
Clawfoot. If you carried a ruck for a career, your feet may have quietly earned you a rating you never thought to claim. Picture Sergeant First Class Diego Alvarez, a retired Army Infantry E7, 22 years hauling a ruck up and down every hill the Army could find. His arches didn't survive it, and honestly most people's don't.
The clinical name is Pez Cavus, diagnostic code 5278. And here's what an acquired high arch actually looks like on an exam.
Take Clawfoot though. It sounds like flat feet with a fancy Latin name, minor.
That's not what the schedule says. Page by page, 5278. Bilateral and moderate is 30%. Marked and bilateral runs to 50. Check me if anyone wants to.
That's the number that runs today. And this is the part I want from someone who reads this schedule cold. Professor Nadeau, let's put you on.
Glad to be on. Clawfoot from years of load bearing is one of the most common feet the schedule describes and one of the least claimed. The arch is easy to document. The service connection is where most veterans stall.
So the foot isn't the hard part, the paper is.
The paper, exactly. You need a nexus, a doctor connecting the deformity to years of marching and load. Get that line and 5278 is a straight read. That's the one thing I'd carry out of this. Back to you.
That's the piece. Now the money, because at 30% something switches on that most veterans never expect.
Alvarez, bilateral and moderate. 30% is $552.47 a month tax-free. That's the base, and I'd put real money on him skipping it for a decade.
And at 30% the schedule finally counts your dependents. A spouse adds $65 right here. Below 30 the family adds nothing, which is exactly why hitting that line matters.
$617.47 a month. Married and tax-free. Off a rating he never filed. That's the whole answer. Before we keep going, one small favor that actually moves the needle. If this is landing for you, tap like, then subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss the rest. 2 taps, completely free, and it pushes this in front of more people who need it.
Athetosis. Say it out loud. Most veterans never have to, and that's exactly why nobody claims it.
It's a movement disorder. Slow, involuntary writhing movements of the hands or feet that you can't fully stop. A real neurological condition, and the schedule has a home for it.
Here's the whole mechanism, and it's a little strange. Athetosis has its own code, 8107, but the schedule won't give it its own numbers. It says 4 words, rate as chorea. So you flip to chorea, code 8105, and read that latter instead. Mild is 10%, moderate 30, moderately severe 50, severe 80, and a pronounced, progressive, grave case tops out at 100. One code borrowing another code's ladder, which is precisely the kind of thing that never gets claimed.
Watch the climb on that ladder. Same rungs borrowed for a condition you can barely spell.
Read the bottom rung. Even the mildest case is 10%, $180.42 a month. The climb from there is steep, and every rung's tax-free.
The chat just pushed the real question to the top, so I'll take it. How does a rare movement disorder even get service-connected years after you're out?
Records, not the exam. You build a paper trail. First mention in service, continuity of symptoms over the years, and a nexus opinion linking the two. The exam day confirms severity. The file wins the claim.
I walked in ready to call this a footnote. That ladder proved me wrong, and honestly, I like being proven wrong well. On to the one that pays you nothing. Remember the condition I flagged that pays you nothing? This is it, the one I held back up top. Age-related farsightedness. Presbyopia.
Yeah, and everyone gets it. Somewhere around 45, the arms get too short and the menu gets too small. Reading glasses for the whole planet.
So people file it. The myth is that it's a rateable disability. It isn't.
Read me the actual line, not a summary, the words.
Straight off the page. Refractive error of the eye are not diseases or injuries. 38 CFR 4.9. If anyone wants to check.
Nothing? Zero? Even if I can't read a road sign?
0. It's not damage service did. It's just getting older. Call it the birthday tax. Nobody pays you for another birthday.
So the eyes are a dead end. Move on.
Not the eyes, River. Refractive error, glaucoma pays. Cataracts as a disease pay. A blast injury to the eye pays. Retinopathy from service-connected diabetes pays. Those are diseases, not birthdays.
You're right, Leo. I flattened it. The eyes aren't closed. The birthday's just not billable.
Which is the whole trap. People file the glasses and skip the glaucoma.
So that's the rule. If it's a disease or an injury, it can pay. If it's just age, it never will. Now, is chasing the small ones even worth it? Let's fight about it. Here's the fork, and the comments are split right down the middle. Leo says grab every rung. Fenrir says stop chasing pennies. Both have a real point, so let's have it out.
Run the numbers. A 10% rating buys you a C&P exam, a stack of paperwork, and a check that covers a couple tanks of gas. Skip it. Put that energy on the claim that actually moves you.
Yeah, and I'd take the other side with real money on it. I'd bet the veterans who win big are the ones who claimed early and often. That 10% isn't the prize. The prize is the yes. Once the VA agrees a condition is service-connected, that door never relocks, and everything downstream gets easier.
Hold it there, Leo. Fenrir, what about the exam risk? Filing can reopen a look at everything you've got.
Take the downside, you file for Clawfoot. Now an examiner's eyeing your knees and your back. And my personal favorite, the thing you forgot you ever mentioned.
Okay, that one landed. But a protected rating can't be cut.
Sure, the protected ones I'll grant you. It's the fresh little 10%ers where the risk lives.
Think of it in plain terms. A 0% rating is a signed lease. Service connection is your name on it. The day your condition worsens is the day you finally move in. And the nexus fight is the credit check you only pass once.
Okay, but what does holding an empty apartment cost you every month? And here's the one catch, because unlike a real lease, this one costs you nothing to hold. No rent, no payment, just the key in your pocket.
So a zero pays no money now, but it locks service connection, so a future increase or a secondary condition starts from a yes, not from scratch.
Fine. The zero I'll grant you too. Free to hold, I can't argue that.
So here's the verdict, and it's an honest split. Fenrir's right that a 10% check alone won't change your life, so if you can't prove it, don't burn the energy. But the service connection lock is the real money, and it costs nothing to hold. The smart play is simple. File the ones you can document, skip the ones you can't. The VA rewards proof, not effort.
Your move is the same 3 steps for every rating we covered today. Kim, run the play.
Step 1. Get the diagnosis in writing from a real provider, not a hunch, a chart note. Taste, feet, movement. Whatever it is, it has to exist on paper before the VA will look at it. Step 2 is the nexus letter. The provider connects the dot from your service to the condition. Page by page, that one document is what turns a maybe into a rating.
And here's the premise most people get wrong. You don't need a brand new injury. You need proof the thing started in service and never fully left. That's a different, easier fight.
Step 3. File it on the 526 Easy, or add it as a secondary to a rating you already hold. Small conditions ride in on the back of the ones you've already proven.
And no, the birthday tax still won't pay a dime, but every SCAR service actually left behind might.
And those couple tanks of gas Fenrir mocked. Over 20 years tax-free, that's a car sitting in the driveway.
All right, I'm converted. File the provable ones.
See, told you, early and often.
Walk away with this. The schedule pays for damage, not for getting older. So claim every SCAR service left behind and let the birthday tax go. Before I run it back, take 1 second and name the single condition on this list you didn't know you could claim. Got it? Good. Today was the schedule's forgotten corners. Taste, feet, movement, and the one that pays nothing.
Next time we crack open the ratings hiding inside your dental records. Yes, dental. And one of them pays more than almost anyone guesses.
Here's your win. You now know a 10% code isn't pocket change, it's a door. Open one you can prove this week.
My favorite part? I walked in a skeptic and left filling out paperwork. That's the takeaway.
If this saved you from a wasted claim, hit like and subscribe. We build the series one obscure rating at a time and the next one's yours. So here's the one we couldn't settle for you. Which rating on this list did you not know you could claim? Tell us below. This is River. Thanks for watching and signing off.